Jane McConnell, you just presented some of the results from the 2008 Global Internet Strategies Survey.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about the main results and findings in the report?
Sure. Yeah, well, this is the third year that the survey's been conducted, and it included over 200 organizations around the world who answered questions about their intranets. And some of the main conclusions this year were that organizations are concentrating very much on making their intranets as operational as possible. And in the survey, I was able to define 3 different stages of organizations, with stage 3 being those for whom the internet is the way of working today. And that represents about 20% of the participants. And it has sort of become a goal, or has long been a goal of many organizations, to make their intranets the way of working.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about, now it's the third year, what are the trends? What are the developments within the intranet field?
Yes, trends are that search is becoming more and more important. There's a high degree of dissatisfaction with search results in organizations, but the degree of satisfaction went up from 50% to 60% in the last 12 months. So 60% satisfied with their search results is not yet very good, but it's better than it was last year. Okay. More and more organizations are implementing portals or portal concept intranets, where they're bringing together global and local content onto the same page, which of course creates a lot of challenges in the organization to determine what that page should actually be. So those are 2 trends. Another trend is integration of social media, which is happening slowly but surely. Things like blogs, wikis, social networking spaces are being used little by little by organizations. Still, we're talking about less than half of the organizations who actually use them. We're talking about a low percentage, but we have a very high percentage experimenting. So.
Super. You also had a general observation that intranets are falling behind compared to the way the business works, or the business drivers.
That's right.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, I think that in spite of the trends and how intranets are advancing, I think we have changes in the way we do business, the way people work together inside a company and outside a company, that the intranet is not able to meet the intranet and the classic intranet in the average company. And things that are causing these problems are, for example, people work in virtual teams more and more. That's to say, they have project work that they do with people they've never met before. And not all intranets yet offer virtual meeting spaces. A lot of project teams have external people, partners, customers, suppliers involved in a project. They're working together. Those people can't get access to the intranet, so they have to set up an extranet project space for every single project that's going on with external people, which is not cost efficient. It would be better if they had a controlled way of letting those people access part of the intranet, which some organizations do. What else? The fact that people use telephones, smartphones, a lot. They don't carry PCs with them everywhere they go. Some people don't have PCs in organizations, and they would like to get news from the intranet or from the organization over a smartphone. And most intranets are not capable of delivering that today.
So you also, that's some of the technology sides of it.
Yes.
But what about on the content side, and the way that we're talking about social media, for instance?
Yes.
People are using social media maybe in their free time more and more. Is that
Correct.
also one of the things
that's one of the things that's impacting what they expect from intranets. And most intranets are very, very slow to respond to that. Most organizations are afraid of user-generated content. I think if you have to define social media in one phrase, it would be user-generated content. What are we going to do with it? How do we control it? People will do whatever they want to do. Organizations are very much worried about that. And stage 3 organizations, who are the most advanced in their intranets, are actually integrating social media faster than the others. But they provide a governance framework, technology framework, and then they leave their people pretty free to do what they want inside that framework, and which I think is a good model for organizations who want to implement social media. And they have to. It has to get integrated into the intranet. As does collaboration spaces. Collaboration is more and more important in business, and if intranets cannot handle collaboration, then the intranet's going to get relegated to a role of providing information and not really being a work tool.
Okay, because you also talked about operational excellence.
Yes.
And the intranet.
Yes.
In your words, what are the link, or what should be the link? Or is there any challenges there in linking operational excellence with
I think
with
there's
the
a
intranet?
huge challenge there. And what I emphasized in my talk this morning is the fact that most intranet teams and intranets, well, internet teams do not think about the customer. And the customer, by customer I mean the external customer, not the internal internet customer, the business customer, the people or companies who are buying whatever it is that the company is making. And that's very rarely the focus of how can we optimize our intranet so that we can help our people provide better services and products to the final customer. Internet managers tend to get focused on how can we improve the intranet, not how can we make the intranet better able to support our business. There are lots of exceptions, of course, but overall I think that's the missing link in making an intranet serve the operational aspects of a company.
Do you see anything happening there? Are people starting to implement more
Yes.
business-focused tasks on the internet?
Absolutely. For example, the stage 3 organizations last year in the survey were only 11% of the participants, and this year it's 22% of the participants. So proportionally speaking, there are more intranets moving up into the space of becoming essential for their organizations. And the other two categories we made, stage 1, stage 2, shifted a little bit in that some people left stage 1, they moved into stage 2, some left stage 2, moved into stage 3. So yes, things are moving in a good direction. I make it a little dramatic when I present, but in fact, no, things are moving, but slowly. And one thing I try to do with my study is to provide statistics that internet managers can then take back and use when they do their business cases as to why they should do something, regarding the internet. They can place themselves in a framework and speak numbers to senior management, which is difficult to do about intranets.